I do want to talk to you guys today about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, it doesn't have to come with it doesn't have to do with some radically crazy statement that she's released about, Jewish space lasers or whatever tomfoolery she's usually involved in. What I'm talking to you about today is Marjorie Taylor Greene being marginalized within the Republican Party. Now, considering her past statements and how much Kevin McCarthy, the House Majority Leader, which got Marjorie Taylor Greene's support during the House fight, and got her aggressive support during the House fight, the idea of her being more marginalized after they've let her go, get away with so much, is kind of hard to believe. But not only did it happened from an unlikely location, the House Freedom Caucus, one of the most radical right-wing caucuses in the House of Representatives, has now kicked out Marjorie Taylor Greene, not over her policy proposals, but out of two things: her loyalty to House Speaker Kevin McCarthy and her kerfluffle with Lauren Boebert that we've covered on the channel before, but I will refresh your memory of in a moment. Let's read a little bit of the article. A member of the House Freedom Caucus confirmed Wednesday that Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene has been removed from the conservative group, citing her repeated attacks on GOP colleagues. She's not a member of the Freedom Caucus, and she shouldn't be in the future, Representative Ken Buck, Republican from Colorado, said in an appearance on NBC News Meet the Press Now, in some of the most definitive comments yet about Greene's status in the group. Greene, a fundraising powerhouse with an enormous social media following, has been one of the former President Donald Trump's top defenders on Capitol Hill. She is the first lawmaker to be ousted from the Freedom Caucus since it was started in 2015 by Representative Jim Jordan. Man, you know what that means? That means every single other Republican crazy. And let me tell you, the vast majority of Republican crazies are within the House Freedom Caucus. Lauren Boebert, the rest of them, they're in the House Freedom Caucus. Out of all of the nuts in the nut house, Marjorie Taylor Greene was too nutty for the nut house. Other members of the ultra-conservative group has said a vote was taken in June 23rd, to eject Greene over her altercation with Representative Lauren Boebert, Republican from Colorado, and her vocal support for Representative Kevin McCarthy's ultimately successful bid for Speaker and his $1 trillion debt ceiling with President Joe Biden. So this, if you read this and you don't have a frame of reference, you hear altercation with Representative Lauren Boebert, but aren't Representative Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene tight? Nope, not anymore. Let me tell you guys what happened. So I think it was a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago now. Oh, June 22nd, so it was a month ago. Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert got into a kerfluffle. Now, this wasn't to be the first time they've gotten into a kerfluffle, but this is one of the deepest kerfluffles they've gotten. The last one being over the House speakership vote for Kevin McCarthy. This time, though, Marjorie Taylor Greene walked up to Lauren Boebert, started giving her a tongue lashing before calling her a little bitch on the House floor, which is not something you're supposed to do. And this was one of the major motivators that pushed the House Freedom Caucus to kick out Marjorie Taylor Greene, with them saying, hey, this is not how you treat other members of the House, especially people that are also in the House Freedom Caucus. But the thing that really gets me about this story is what motivated Marjorie Taylor Greene to take this move that eventually got her booted out of the House Freedom Caucus. Can anybody guess what motivated her to do this? It already kind of says it on screen, so I'll just blurt it out. It was because they were fighting over who gets to introduce articles of impeachment for President Joe Biden. They were fighting over who gets to impeach the president that will not be removed from office. They were fighting over who will get to impeach the person who hasn't committed an impeachable offense, but they get to say, hey, we stuck it to Trump. We stuck it to Biden like they stuck it to Trump. Not that it would get anywhere. An impeachment vote, I don't even know if it would survive the House, even though they have a Republican majority. I still don't know if it would survive the House. And it certainly wouldn't survive the Senate, wouldn't get anywhere, and it wouldn't be for anything. But here these two are, attention whoring it up, and that's the only way I can put it, going for the political strategy that is more about building your own clout, that is more about building your own image. It's more about getting headlines for saying impeach Joe Biden impeach, than it is about, you know, getting actual policy reforms or things that help people in your district. I don't think the impeachment of Joe Biden is going to be helping people in Georgia, is going to be helping people in Marjorie Taylor Greene or Lauren Boebert's or anybody in the House Freedom Caucus's district. But despite the fact that it's not really that important, despite the fact that it wouldn't help people in their district, despite the fact that nobody cares, really, that was what motivated Lauren Boebert, not Lauren Boebert, but Marjorie Taylor Greene to go up to Lauren Boebert, give her a tongue lashing, call her a little bitch, which eventually led to her getting kicked out of the House Freedom Caucus. It's pretty wild how stupid that is. And the consequences of this, I don't think, are being completely felt right now, because Marjorie Taylor Greene isn't even responding to requests for comment. She hasn't shown up to the recent House Freedom Caucus meeting, meaning that it does look like this is legit. This isn't just like, you know, articles like playing up the divide. This divide is real. This divide is tangible. And for Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's probably more isolated than ever. Now, I know that she sided with Kevin McCarthy during the House speakership vote. And that right there is probably her only lifeline. But the problem is that if the House Freedom Caucus, the more radical wing of the Republican Party, doesn't want anything to do with her, and now she relies on Kevin McCarthy for support, what does that mean? That could mean that even though Kevin McCarthy is still pretty radical when it comes to things like labor relations and you know, health, environmental regulations, climate change, he's still a moderate in comparison to a lot of these people in the House Freedom Caucus. So that means Marjorie Taylor Greene, somebody who is an extremist, is going to have to align herself with somebody who's a lot more moderate, possibly giving him more headway and being more lenient in her, we'll just say strongly held policy beliefs, if we're going to call them that. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that when she inevitably says another thing
immoral,
that's stupid,
corrupt, bankrupt,
that's, you know, nonsensical, possibly racist, sexist, who knows what it is, who knows it'll target, maybe it'll be Ethiopians, maybe it'll be trans people, maybe it'll be the Chinese, who knows, will be the next one to garner Marjorie Taylor Greene's wrath. But when she eventually does that, and it causes a scandal, and the press start covering it, and the Republicans start getting pressured, there isn't going to be no Freedom Caucus to stand up and say, we caucus with Marjorie, you will protect her. They're not going to protect her. It's no longer their job to protect her. So there's a decent chance now that without the House Freedom Caucus, and now with a lot of her support being based in Kevin McCarthy, what stops Marjorie Taylor Greene from getting to another scandal and just plummeting into obscurity because Kevin McCarthy does not want to align himself with this nonsense? I'll tell you the only thing that I think that could stop it when she inevitably makes another fuck up. And that is the fact that the House Republican majority is so slim. It's not impossible to get things done without Marjorie Taylor Greene. But all things considered, they don't want to dump any votes, at least for the next 2 years, waiting for 2024. They need to at least wait for that if they're going to try to get through this. Can Boebert go next? What do you mean Boebert go next? Like, can she get kicked out of the House Freedom Caucus? I mean, she would have to go up to somebody, call them a little bitch, and then support Kevin McCarthy, I guess. So again, the only thing that's going to save Marjorie Taylor Greene now when she makes another mess up is going to be how much influence a single vote has, how close the margins are. And so the less close the margins are, the more risk she's, you know, rolling when she makes these types of statements, when she makes crazy statements. The tighter the race is, the more she can probably get away with because she can hold Kevin McCarthy by the balls. Anyway, Marjorie Taylor Greene, though, is reacting to this situation, I think, quite well, you know, as she's becoming more and more politically marginalized. She reacted how many politicians I would advise should react, and would any sensible person would react to the situation, by releasing a rap video.
The Democrats are a party of pedophiles.
They support grooming children. Even Joe Biden, the president himself, supports children being sexualized and having transgender surgeries. Sexualizing children is what pedophiles do to children.
MTG, Megas MVP. MTG, Megas MVP. MTG, Megas MVP. MTG, Megas MVP. Democrats get back. Boom! Reporters even get slapped. They spreading all these rumors cause Marjorie be spitting big facts. Deep state and the left always hating. When they gonna let Joe about that basement? Marjorie, I really love what you do. Keep calling Ronalds out. No one does it better than you, huh? A real businesswoman, AOC's a featherweight. A Southern belle, a little hood. Watch her shake and bake. Divorce, that's all y'all gotta bring up. Yeah, watch her drain the swamp cause she know they corrupt. She's fighting for our children. She's fighting for our freedom. She's fighting for the Jan 6. She's fighting good versus evil. MTG, Megas MVP. MTG, Megas MVP. MTG, Megas MVP. MTG, Megas MVP. She's a boss. She don't rock with trans diva cause they soft. Them liberal tears can't save you, wipe them off. You know we reppin' 45, he never lost. Watch a real Georgia peach go and set it off.
But I think what upsets me the most, Benny, is the fact that everyone in Washington has known about the Biden crimes for a very long time, and they've done nothing about it. But yet regular Americans, they go to jail if they don't pay their taxes. They go to jail if they walk in the Capitol escorted by Capitol Police like Jacob Chansley did.
Wow. I can't believe that when you storm the Capitol, you could possibly get arrested. I hate when, you know, you interrupt a democratic process and that comes with penalties. Also, I think it's funny that it ends with her complaining about, like, you know, I hate it when politicians can commit crimes and then get away with it with no punishment. Anyway, let me say why all these Trump indictments are garbage and should immediately be thrown out in the eye. And if him ever finding any consequences for his actions are political persecution. Let's go back through this video a bit. And I'm sorry to do this, right? But she opens up by calling everybody she politically disagrees with child diddlers, which is a totally normal and non-schizophrenic thing to do from the woman of Jewish space lasers, comparing COVID to the Holocaust and people who don't get vaccinated to the Jews. A very, very sensible, normal thing to do. But I don't want to break down the lyrics here, right? She's got the pimp chair, I guess you can call it. But can I be for real? She looks so uncomfortable for the entirety of this video. Look how uncomfortable she looks. It almost feels like she's like trying her best to tolerate the music genre. You know? That's what it feels like. One second. Let's see if I can get a better moment of her, like, just complete discomfort. That's okay. I can get a better moment because where is it? There was a moment where she was just kind of like, look at her. Look at her. She does not look like she's having a good time. It does not look like she's having a blast here. She does not look happy. She is not like she's like, oh, I get to finally be a part of a rap video, right? Not even a good rap video. 1 minute, 41 seconds with this clown. She doesn't look like she's having a nice time, man. She's boxed herself into such a degree that the only place she can go to get support is the internet pro MAGA rap crowd. This is the final Pokemon evolution of Marjorie Taylor Greene's political journey, and it's an absolute beautiful thing to watch. Kind of in the same way that, like, I don't know, the Hindenburg coming down is beautiful in a kind of a sick, twisted way, you know? Dylan, you're being ableist. This is the most comfortable a conservative Georgian can be around a black person. That got me. Thank goodness. Trump won. Trump won. Okay, that's enough of that. I have nothing else to say about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Good luck. Good luck. Speaking of animals, okay, no, that was a little too much. Okay, don't include that, Danabo. Don't include that. It's a little too much.